Hello there and welcome to the channel, and this episode is on the Chig Bomber from Space Above and Beyond, one of the most underrated, sometimes forgotten and seldom appreciated sci-fi series in the space opera genre that was ever made, and it predated shows like, well, it didn't predate Babylon 5, it was a contemporary, but it just never got the recognition that I felt it deserved, and I think a lot of people who are fans of the show agree with me of that assessment. And the Chig Bomber was one of the most powerful vessels of the enemy fleet they had to offer. Before we get started on talking about it though and going into its breakdown, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me all the things you loved and miss about this fantastic little gem of a show. And also let you know this is sponsored by the Beard Struggle, who are linked in the description below, but we'll talk about later in the video, and hopefully I won't forget to talk about them later in the video like I have done the last few times and have to insert it later. We'll find out. And now let's get started on the Chig Bomber. Okay, to put this vessel in a little bit of context, this was a biomechanical attack craft used by the enemies of humanity called the Chigs. The Chigs had declared an unprovoked war on humanity, or at least seemingly unprovoked, when they attacked and wiped out a human colony. Vessels such as the bomber were used in this attack, but they are primarily used in a role not unlike the A-Wing from Star Wars. Primarily they were sort of space bomber designed to sort of run strafing runs across enemy ships. They were not as maneuverable as the smaller fighters, but they were more heavily armed and armoured, and they were armed typically with missiles as well as a variety of other basic weapon systems. But the bomber's real strength was its neural interface system. This ship had a crew on board who controlled the vessel not through a traditional sort of computer interface or steering wheel, but through a sort of neurosynaptic interface. They basically put their arms or appendages, whatever the Chigs decide to use, into these sort of holes in the walls, and they would sort of control the ship. Humans were also able to do this, but it took a lot more practice and effort, of course, humans being very unfamiliar with Chig technology. Now, these ships, as I said, were very powerful. Now, they were used in an attack, notably on the USS Saratoga, one of Earth's largest warships. Also the home of the 5/8, the main heroes of the Chig War. This particular vessel used in this attack, or one of them, which was damaged but not destroyed. The crew were killed. The ship was salvaged and studied, but not fully reverse engineered to study Chig technology. Instead, a sort of false flag mission was concocted where the vessel would use as a sort of Trojan horse to get the 5/8 squadron to the Chig homeworld. This led to a series of events that would actually lead to the first of any kind of negotiations between humanity and the Chigs, as a first step towards what would hope to have been peace, although it would ultimately fail. But thinking of peace, I am actually remembering to do it. This video was brought to you in collaboration with my sponsor, so quickly, here they are, the Beard Struggle. They focus in exactly what they sound like, beard and beard related products, and they are linked in the description below. If you follow that link, you will get a 15% discount when you sign up to their website. Now, they're not, I'm going to admit, free international delivery, but it is free delivery if you live in the UK and possibly Canada. Not 100% on that. But they do a variety of things, including a rather nice beard straightener that I have, as well as various other products like oils, butters, balms, all of which are designed to take optimal care of your glorious beard. Check them out, see if there's anything you like, and with that, back to the Chig Bomber. Like the smaller fighter, the bomber is launched from a larger Chig carrier. It is launched initially through a form of electromagnetic propulsion system, but after that, main propulsion is controlled via, and this is a little complicated sci-fi typical stuff, and it is propelled by pellet stream propulsion. This is basically where a stream of ordinary matter pellets from a stationary mass driver are reflected, thus moving it forward. The spacecraft doesn't need energy or mass for propulsion of its own. To be honest, that sounds a lot like but it's interesting idea and might actually have some basis in reality. I've heard about propulsion systems that actually rely on nuclear propulsion or explosive, and I remember there being a lot of tests on them decades ago where they would basically create an explosion behind something to knock it forwards using the power of the explosion to propel something. And there was tests done with trying to launch rockets and things like that using this form. It would go bang 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 behind it and it would launch it, and theoretically it would allow, once in space, for extremely high propulsion. That's not exactly what the Chigs use, but it sounds kind of similar to that when I sort of think about it. The craft's only other notable feature beyond that is the fact that it is also equipped with an escape pod, which is sorely lacking from smaller vessels like the Chig fighter, although Earth's hammerheads do actually contain an ability to eject the crew and cockpit as a survival pod into space, as well as I think a more conventional ejector seat as well for when in atmosphere. But there we have the Chig Bomber, one of the best vessels the Chigs had to offer, and certainly one of the most powerful. It outclassed anything on the human side across from it, particularly its synaptic interface, the basic neural conducting gel that was used. Basically you touch it and it allows you to interface with the ship's systems in these pods. It was gross and disgusting. It looked like you're putting your hands in snot, but it was definitely interesting. It's been used as a trope in other sci-fi series like Stargate, but again, this was a trailblazing show. If you've never watched Space Above and Beyond, it only ran for one season, but I do highly recommend you go and give it a watch. And with all that said, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. It's appreciated. And a little thank you at the end of this to all the people who have donated to my channel. I never ask for donations, but I do occasionally get them via PayPal. I'm not asking for it, but it is appreciated, and what donations I do get go towards buying me new equipment. For example, I recently bought a gimbal, and I'm actually getting some additional things as I will be going to the Destination Star Trek convention in London this year. I didn't manage to go last year because it was closed, but I've already got my tickets. I'm going down there. I'm going to be doing a few videos on that, so in November you're going to have those. There's going to be a series of them. Me and my partner are going to dress up, and maybe, if I'm really maybe lucky, she might actually appear in one of the videos. Probably not, but you never know. Might happen. She herself is planning to start her own YouTube channel, so she better get used to it, really. But anyway, thank you for watching, and bye-bye.